Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Allahu Akbar.
I haven't already risen, I'm gonna praise Allah again. And I'm gonna thank Allah for this time with you all. And I sincerely mean that. I mean, I really feel at home. I really feel among you Moors that that paradise that's been talked about from prophets of old all the way up to our prophet. You know, and how we, because as I was saying to the Moors, that our objective in our earthly salvation is to create a condition that is conducive for us to unfold. And by that I mean that we create a condition where we can, it's not a lot of, friction going on, it's not a lot of chaos going on, it's not a lot of, in that condition, then I can grow. Like the sister, asks a lot of great questions. The atmosphere has to be created where that comes forth. If that atmosphere is not created, then it's stagnant. And you Moors are blessed because previous generations were raised in chaos and confusion. So these kind of, they weren't having these kind of Sunday school classes. They weren't delving beneath the surface of the lesson. It was too busy. The focus was on illusions, temporary things. Those things that were of no substance and were not in any way going to contribute to our earthly and divine salvation. You may not know it now, but you are really blessed in the time that you're in right now, and the condition and the situation that you're in right now, in the temple that you're developing. It's an honor to be here with you all. It's truly an honor. It is a few things that I wanted to share with you all, and just continuing our class, our Sunday school class. I was listening, and I like when my thoughts are stimulated, and it takes me to go deeper into the Holy Quran. One of the things that we should understand about the teaching of the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, that there are levels to the lesson. I want to just start with one. I just want to start with this one, where you hear a lot of more say, my portion, right? My draw, right? The verse says that the gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah, and He appointed to His portion in which measure seemeth good unto Himself. Allah. There's two important things in here. The most important is Allah. It's one understanding, and that is Allah, right? That's the most important part of it. The other thing is that the subject of it is the gifts, because He gives each of us a gift, which in the measure which seems good unto Him. We had to be careful when we say, well, my portion, because if it's your portion, right? Then what we supposed to do with it? See, because what comes from Allah, it doesn't contradict or conflict with the lesson. You and I, we'll have two completely opposing views on something, and I'm saying that's my portion and that's your portion, and we're both trying to say that's what we got from Allah. So what we're saying is that Allah has caused a confusion between us. We have to be careful.
That's right.
Because what we may have done is one of us, or even both of us, may have developed our own thing.
That's right.
Based on our intellect, and not on what it takes to get a portion. Because there is some of you have children, right? And of course, when your children do the things that they're supposed to do and what you ask them to do, you want to reward the behavior, right? So because you want to encourage good behavior. So you may give them gifts, or give them, you may start them out where you give them chores or whatever, and as a result of them completing the chores that they're supposed to complete, you may give them what is it? allowance. You know, if you get real smart with it, you know, if you don't do it right, you don't get the amount that you supposed to get. But what you're doing is encouraging in that good behavior, and you're instilling in them a work ethic and all of that. But it comes from them. It's something that they have to do. Sometimes we think Allah is giving us gifts just because the verse say it. No, what's not explicitly explained in the verse is that there's something that you must do in order for you to get the gift. You have to prepare yourself to receive the gift. You have to open yourself to receive the gift. And one of the things that if he give you a gift today and you don't share it, then how can you get something else?
No.
You know? And I mean, because this generational, and you'll hear me speak about it a lot, generationally Moors have always been very secretive. What are you hiding? If you're hiding the gifts of Allah, then there's no benefit in that. So you're hiding somebody else's stuff, then you can go ahead and keep that. I don't need that anyway. There's no salvation in it. That's enough. So we had to ask ourselves the question, where is the salvation in it? Salvation basically is, how does it save me? How does it make my condition better? If the answer to it, if I don't have no way of using it, then what I'm gonna do with it? Question. What is the most important thing to the wise man or woman? What's the most important thing? Is it knowledge? It's a question.
Should be held.
Based on the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you want me to give you the chapter number? No, I'm not going to do that. But what does the wise person see as the most important thing? The attainment of virtue. He see the attainment of virtue as the highest learning. He doesn't shun knowledge, but he looks at knowledge and how it can be used for the benefit of the public. How can you benefit from it? You know, we all come into the temple and we all come in with various levels of skills and knowledge. How can it be used to help the community grow and unfold and get strong? If like you have some of us, we like a walking encyclopedia. What are we doing with all that encyclopedic knowledge you got? Is it just for you to pull it out and say, look, I know this? And okay, so now what we gonna do with it? Because we really don't have a lot of time to be just sitting and talking about what we know. So the wise man sees the knowledge, how do I use it to benefit? Right? We were right in the teaching of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but you know, that was just an example, one example. I want to go back because your sister asked a question. I think my sister asked a question. Hakiym-Bey,
Yes.
Islam. I remember y'all names. Islam. Symbols. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's been said before, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he uses symbols. Symbols are meant to teach us. Sometimes if we look at them as we study and grow, we'll start to see different levels of the same symbol. Right? Let me give you a few examples. Our chairman just gave a wonderful demonstration of a symbol in front of the Quran questions. Gave a wonderful demonstration. Now let's go a little further, right? So we look at it. Let me put these glasses on. I had to go get these. I don't broke glasses since I've been down here. Y'all had me working, right? Praise the Lord, but it's a good thing. So you had a prophet here, picture of the prophet. It was said that a child drew this picture. So you had a prophet with, you had the words, the cares of the world back there. You know, you have all that black stuff back there, and that can represent murky ethers, right? The murkiness of the world. There's all the chaos and confusion of the world, right? So then you have, and written in this water, the cares of the world. You had a prophet with a figure of a woman in his hand. What is that word written on her though?
Humanity.
humanity. Okay. And you got one foot on the solid rock of the salvation. So you got humanity on. Now understand the lesson about the sister. And I'm right there with that, because that's our earthly salvation. We have to raise her. Because remember, our ancient forefathers founded Islam for our earthly and divine salvation. So now let's look at the divine side of this same symbol. All right? Where we see the word she mentioned several times throughout the Holy Quran of the Moorish symbol of America. And the soul of man. The soul of man, and understand this, that the man is, when it says man, we understand, I know this has been taught here already, but I'm going to emphasize it again, that when we say man, that we are also talking about woman. Woman is a manifest variation of the spirit man. The spirit is called man. We all share that spirit. We all don't have the same soul. Right? Okay? So when we manifest in this, what we can see, right? You have the manifest variation of the spirit man called a male, or a man, and the manifest variation called a woman. All right? But in the chapter of the soul of man, the soul is referred to as she. Right? So let's look at this picture again. The prophet has humanity, or the souls of humanity, in his arms. And he is carrying the souls of humanity out of the cares of the world to take them on, place them on the rock of salvation. But he got one foot on it. So it's a work in progress. He has lifted us out of the cares of the world. Now what we have to do is to continue to do the work to get on the side, to get on the rock of salvation, so he can put us down.
Come on, Mom.
Islam.
And the same thing applied to as far as, like you said, it's a process, say, being bound in part?
Yes. It's a process. It's a continuation, because it ain't finished. Right? It's not finished. We had to continue to work. What happens is we fall asleep at the wheel. That's how we get caught up in the chattel slavery and all that. Our foreparents fell asleep at the wheels, and they got caught up in those things that look good, the shiny thing, you know. And you think we'll look out at our people now. We'll look at how we are with one another and think that this is not the first time that we get to that point where we're like that towards one another. We have done this before. And in doing it before, we have found ourselves in those, because we become susceptible. Now, when you're not operating in those principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, there you reverse it. In the reverse, you're open to everything and susceptible to everything. Because now when you're so caught up in the carnal things, which are temporary things, when you're so caught up into those things, you'll do anything for them, even if it means selling out your brother or your sister. And those who accept their teachings. So I was on the symbols. I'm still on the symbols. Because the sister asked the question, well, why the prophet didn't use the seven? First she said the circle seven. These ain't no secrets, because the book is right in our hand, right? Where's the Holy Quran at? Somebody got Holy Islam, praise Allah. And I know that we have a lot of different versions of I'm gonna set this in a stack of everything, so the temple can have. So we all like when you reference on the page, everybody go to the same page. You know, Islam. So I just send them. Matter of fact, I need for you to look at it first and make sure everything's straight, and then we can make sure, you know, because you're good at that. Islam. Praise Allah. So, is this what you were talking about, sister?
Yes.
Okay. So now, you're an intelligent sister, I know. Is this really a circle? Okay. She said no. And that's correct. Because it's not. It's four arcs, if you will, made in the form of a circle. But it's broken. That means something. The seven inside of it, it means something. And that 7 being inside of these 4 arcs that are broken means something. Let's simplify. This book right here is a book about us. Personalize it. It's about you. You know that most times books, what's on the cover of it tells the story before you even get into it. A lot of times, not all the time. Some people just put some art on the front of it, right? Some other times, and those who understand signs and symbols, they'll put some stuff on the front that will begin to tell you what the contents is about.
That's right.
The prophet did that.
That's right.
He did it even in the colors that he made the Holy Quran. What colors is it? Red, white, and blue. Predominantly white. All the colors represent something. All these are symbols, right? So my point is to your question, sister, that the prophet used different symbols throughout in teaching us. And in each place, in the context that it would use in that particular place, it had a message, and it could tell many messages, right? Like a simple message for this 7 is representative of man. It said it's the symbol of perfect man or perfect woman, because we all have the seed of what? Of perfection in us. Because we have Allah in us, so we got to have the seed of perfection in us, right? So that 7 is representative of us, but it's representative of us in what is in the essence of us. However, there are breaks in these 4 arcs, because there is a symbol, there is a circle 7 symbol. There is one. If you look close enough around in your temple, you'll see it. There is an actual circle 7 symbol that we have that means something itself. It is actually the completion of this one. And both of them represent you. Listen, some more be like, oh, I had that blessing. Yeah, okay. That's why we stagnated. Because we get a little something, now we want to hide in the corner with it. I'm not him. No, because if I share it with you and you get it, them babies gonna get it, and they will become the lesson.
That's right.
Because the most important step of the 3 is what? The most important step of the 3 steps is what? That's the most important step. Fruition. All of them are important, but you got to become it. You think perhaps it's true, Sister Frown her face. I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. 3-step ladder, right? Belief, faith, and fruition. Belief is what we think perhaps is true. Faith is what we know is true, and fruition is when we become that truth. So the objective is to become that truth. So I won't have a lot of time hiding stuff from you when you're trying to become the truth. When you ask the question, you're ready for the answer. If the little baby asks you right now, who is Allah? I'm going to have to give her what she asking for, because she's ready for the answer. Right? So, praise the Lord. The symbolism is, is given to teach us lessons. Like the flag, as the chairman was speaking about the flag, he said standard. It says that our flag is over 10,000 years old. Now, based on history, on recorded history, the oldest standard that has ever been found is 5,000 years old. So he said, oh, bro, you're contradicting the prophet. No. It is the metal standard of Iran. That's a physical thing. But our prophet is not talking about something physical, because the number 10,000 actually represents something. So you know that when he used the number 10,000, he's not talking about something physical. That's what makes our flag different from the Moroccan flag. The Moroccan flag's meaning, or the kind of flag that it is different from what the flag that our prophet brought us. He said that our flag is over 10,000 years old. The 5 points want to represent love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Do they have a beginning or an end?
No.
The number 10,000, if you look at older texts, represents infinity. At one point in the Quran question, some of the earlier versions, the number was 50,000 years old. Same thing. It's this big number that you can't really fathom in your mind because there is no you think 10,000 or 50,000 years ago because there is no beginning to it. So with the symbol this symbol on here to us represents something that has no beginning or end. And this is how this standard can represent our people no matter where they are in the world because it's not the same kind of flag as this one.
That's right.
It's not the same kind. This flag is limited, although it is an international flag and is recognized by the international community. We have protections under it, right? But the representation of this flag goes beyond any of that, because this represents our faith. And in our faith, there is no putting bounds on that. Everywhere in the world, you are protected by that. And it represents us no matter where we are, as long as we represent it.
That's right. That's right.
See, we have an obligation under it when we say, that's my flag, okay. So we just show some love then. And consistently as we can in living these principles, this is how we ward off that Satan. So the prophet told us we only had to pick up a penknife in this fight. No, not this time. All we gotta do is do what's right.
That's right.
That's all we gotta do, and and stay together, and do what's right. The fight, Allah gonna take care of the fight that need to be fought this time. So yes, sister. Symbols, and in different places, they mean different things, and as you study, it'll develop. Your understanding of it will develop, and you'll begin to see how it is applied. Like 1 + 1. No, let me say this: 3 + 3 = 6. That is the equation, right? It's a basic algebra. Say the word for me, brother. Algebra. It's an algebra. It's a basic algebra equation, because both things on both sides of the right. On both sides of the equal sign are the same. 3 + 3 is the same as 6, but 4 + 2 is also 6. Different numbers, aren't they? They come to the same conclusion, right? So you may look at the lesson and you may be able to draw this chapter and this verse to get to this point. The same thing that I may have come out of this chapter and this verse to get to that. You see? But we only able to do that as we study more. The other thing I wanted to just share with you all is about as the chairman was opening up and confirming oneself to the questionnaire, right? Traditionally, in Sunday school class, we go through the 101 questions. The chairman or the Sunday school instructor asks the question, the class gives the answer. That's the tradition, and that is great. It's not actually the confirming aspect of it, though. For instance, if I say that our foreparents were even here in North America and also had kingdoms here in North America or in South America, and I'm demonstrating this in the class. I'll go to the Quran questions where it says, "Why are we Moorish Americans?" We're descendants of Moroccans and born in America. So the class that I'm demonstrating on is the different kingdoms that were throughout North, South, and Central America, the Atlantis Islands, and all of that. To confirm it, I'll go to that question right? Because confirm means what? Somebody can Google it. What does the word confirm mean? To prove, to make strong, right? Right. So now I'm gonna show how I'm in line with the teachings of the prophet. I go to that particular question and answer, and then from there I go into the Holy Quran, the Moorish Science of America, where he explains who are the Moroccans that he was talking about. Of the Moroccan Empire, and he gives you the whole landmass in which they inhabited. See, so that's how I confirm myself. Now, if I'm in here talking about, well, you know, Saturday is our holy day, and Islam, where that at? How we confirm that? Can't confirm it, can we? I'm out there flapping, ain't it? Somebody need to pull me up and let me know Islam grand shit. No, sir. No, sir, not there. The prophet said right here that this is what it is. Now, let me say this, you know, my prophet was not trying to make me a robot, right? The prophet said to me that if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. So this is not where anything that I say, it ain't because I'm the national grand sheik don't make it so. All right, I'm gonna have to confirm myself. So that's why, as leaders, it is incumbent upon us to study what the Prophet Noble Jew Ali brought, so that we can stay in line with it. You know, so sometimes you will hear going from chapter to chapter to chapter, because I don't read them chapters so much. I'm walking with the chapters. And so in walking with the chapters during the course of the day, it is something just pop in. Oh, that's how that go with that. I only get to that point by repetitiously study it. Being in Sunday school and hearing, who made you? Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Can we see him? No. Where is the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart. Who is Noble Jew Ali? He's Allah's prophet. What is the prophet? Prophet. See it over so much repetition. You know, hearing the law read repetitiously. And sometimes we be sitting there sometimes, man, we get this part, we get to the lesson. But after a while, you'll have it. You need that. What tool is that? Repetitious. Unless you got, you know, I got a lot of tools. I can shoot a nail in with one. I don't have to hit it but one time. Bam, that's it. We ain't talking about that kind of hammer, right? We talking about that old-fashioned hammer. and you might hit your finger with a couple times before you get the nail started, and then you got to hit that bad one a couple times. You know, you get good with it. I know some people get pop to get it in. But I'm not like that with it, because I got tools today, so I'm going to that tool. You know. But that's the repetition of the hammer, and now we begin to see the importance of those tools. Repetitions, because we're making it a part of every part. So now, even when I don't have the physical literature, I still have it. Because that's how I grow in it. You be going, you'll be surprised. You might be at work doing something, anything, something to come in, a verse will click. And you can always tell when a verse doesn't click for me, because I'm going to share it forever till the next one clicks. Right? See, I keep sharing because I understand the concept. I had to empty my cup in order to get some more. And I'm trying to get some more because I'm looking for salvation. I want to be saved. My lower self is scary. I'm not worried about yours. No, I'm not concerned about yours. I'm concerned about mine. You know, so I need all the armor I can get to combat my lower self. So when he start talking and suggesting things, then I got an answer for him. The same way when Jesus was in the wilderness, right? His lower self had some suggestions. He had twisted the description, all that, just slightly twisted it. About jumping off, and you know, the scripture wasn't telling me, Allah sent the angel to give him charge and protect him if he gonna commit suicide. No, that wasn't what the lesson was. But that lower self put a little twist on it. Just a little something slicing, man. You can jump off there, and if you do that, man, the people see that one, boy, they be following you. Jesus said, hold up, man. Wait a minute. Let me pull myself together. Staffelah. Woo! I got to make sure, but he had to go there to check his strength and worthiness, and we had to do that too on a daily basis. We're gonna have moments where we family here, all right? Right? So we ain't gonna be in here acting like we all don't have a day when our breath stinking. I use the breath stink thing. The sister got the mint up there. Our breath stink so bad the mint won't even hurt out. You know? And we had to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm gonna have, at the end of the day, when the day over with, good gracious, I want the day breath stinking like that. I'm gonna have to come up with a plan to deal with that so it won't be that way again tomorrow. The stinky breath is representative of us acting out in our lower self. We done got caught up for a minute. We all gonna have them days. I had them days. And I go back and say, look, man, come on, man, that stuff ain't make no sense. And if it's towards someone, then I conjure up the manhood that my prophet taught me to go to that person and apologize for my actions. See, it's not about you. It's about my relationship with my God. And my prophet taught me that if I harm you, I'm harming my God. So if I was out there bent out of shape and in left field and acting a fool, then come on now, I done did that to Allah. Now I can act like it ain't. I can separate it all I want to. We good at that. Because that lower self is very crafty. The lower self know the same lesson right now, the lower self in here. Oh, we didn't leave them outside. We can't separate from it like that. So the same lesson that we in here getting the lower self right there too. Man, I wish he'd sit down and shut up. Get him too much. That's too much armor. How I'm gonna win this fight? He gave a sharp sword. That sword they had beat it up against the wall a little bit. I had a chance with now, and we had to be able to distinguish the two voices. Allah speaks to man in a still small voice. We got that slinking, whispering voice. We gotta watch out for that one. We had to be able to distinguish between the two because we swear it's a long tongue or something, right? And then we'll come out without understanding. The whole time is a lower self understanding. The portion we got from our lower self, and we'll stand on it. Remember, Allah don't give us conflicting portions. Allah's at the author of confusion. If we see that we totally disagree on something, let's step back for a minute. Let's go back. We both need to go back as brothers and sisters. Let's go back and let's look at this again. Because Allah ain't going to give us. Because then maybe what I need to do is admit that, well, listen, Joe Splivengate Bay actually told me that. And it wasn't the law. Right? And I'm here arguing with you about what he told me. Right? And you might have been studying, for real. You might have been in the lesson for real. I had dictionaries out. Because I'm telling you more, I was introduced to this. This is what they did to me. Like, listen, you need to go through the Holy Quran and define every word that when you first see it, you don't readily know the definition of it. Then go back again. Y'all got Google now, so I didn't have Google when I first came to town. I'm jealous. I could have did that. Do you know how? I use Google now though. I'll pull up in a minute, and then you can go. You gotta go a little deeper in Google. They don't want no surface definition because you have different definitions and understand context. For an example, the word angel, it has a different context when used. When our prophet is being referred to as an angel of Allah, to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah, the context of angel there is not the same as the angel cherubim and seraphim. Just something for you to think about. Islam, my sister, I know you asked the question earlier. Can I add something to the answer? I can? Thank you. So, you asked about reincarnation and Jesus. Let me say this, that your soul that you have right now, that's in this body, what's your name?
Mila.
Mila? What's your whole name? You don't know your whole name?
Mila Kennedy. It's now.
Kennedy Bey. Yeah. Mila Kennedy Bey. Yes. got the certificate for you. I got to send you your stuff. So, Sister Kennedy-Bey, the soul that is Sister Kennedy-Bey, the soul is in you now. That soul was with Jesus. You follow me? It just wasn't called Kennedy-Bey then. She had another name. The same way it was Jesus at that time, and with your question you asked, he reincarnated into who? Prophet Muhammad, right? Same soul came into a different body. This body is not really who you are. You're just using this body right now. See, who you really are can never die. Never. That who you really are just uses this so that you can grow in it. So that your soul can grow in it. You understand that? So that same soul you had now was learning with Jesus. And that same soul that was learning with Jesus is now learning with Prophet Noble Ali. That was a good soul because you still on the path. You still on the path. You understand me? Praise Allah. Islam. So I just wanted to close with that, so that my sister, that's here, she'll carry it, and she gonna teach somebody else this.
Already.
You gonna be here. You gonna be up here.
Already.
You know that, right? You gonna be a leader. Yes. You gonna be a leader. Yes. Islam Moors. Like I said, and I'm just want to close with it again and say to you all again that it's been a blessing for me to be here with you during this this week of convention, for the days that we were here together. Convention is a very important time of the year because this is when we come together and we take care, most importantly, we take care of the business of the organization, and that we chart out our plans and goals. We see where we're at from one year to the next, like where we at and what we planned the previous year. What do we need to do different? What do we need to do better? What do we need to do more of? As we grow as a body of Moors, we're going to those that are here now. We will become the nucleus, the core of this, and when we're on page, when those who come in, they'll come in and they'll be able to vibrate with us. And we'll be able to collectively get done what we're trying to get done. And what we're trying to get done is what the Prophet's vision is. That's strictly what it's about. What we have decided and determined that, and going back in our Supreme Grand story, I'm sure he gave you a lot of history today. And in that history, we see that, the Moors have went different ways over the course of years. And it was through a misunderstanding. See, they was getting some gifts from other places, and with those gifts and misunderstandings that they had, they were going in different directions, and as a result, the generations that came after somewhat suffered from that misinformation. That's right. So what we say is, hey, listen, let's move everything to the side. Yeah, we need to know our history so we know what not to do. But once we see it and we know what not to do, let's be about the business of doing what we're supposed to do. And let's not, like, in this body, in the United Moor Science of America, and just to answer briefly for anybody saying, well, the Prophet said that, he founded the Moor Science of America. And he did. The Prophet also said in the Holy Quran in chapter 47, verse 12, that he's the founder of the uniting of the Moor Science of America. That's a prophetic statement. If you think about it, at that time, this book was published when? 27. It was first published in 27. In 27, there was no other temple. There were no other bodies of Moor. But he said he's the founder of the United of Moor Science of America at that time. So this is a prophetic statement. Our prophet could see down the road and understood and knew what was coming. And what it was that we was able to see what our prophet was talking about and looking at the state of affairs. Right? So we're not engaging in the argument no more. We're not engaging in a debate no more. If you wanted to say you have authority, okay. Because the reality of it is that the authority comes from Allah. We look on the back of here. So if your hand's not in Allah's hand, you don't have no authority.
That's right.
It's simple. And I don't care what papers you got. I don't care what the state say, whatever state you're in. The state can't give you this authority over this divine and national movement. You know, so we're not entering into that argument with anybody. We want to do the work. And we don't show our brothers and sisters the love that our prophet showed the Moors. That's what we're about. You know, so that's what this is all about, and that's what we're going to collectively is what we're going to do. You know, we're not going to try to do it, we're going to do it. And that's why I'm going to give you as much as I have, so that you'll have what you need, and with what Allah give you, because I'm going to give you what Allah blessed me with, not what I came up with, but what Allah blessed me with. I'm going to share with you, and you take what Allah bless you with, and you take this further than what I can take. You know, so that the babies here, they're going to be really blessed. And they're going to build that Moorish nation for real. They're going to be in position that when Allah puts the keys in their hand, they're going to be ready. You know, because Allah going to put the keys. They said the keys of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. And the first nation he mentioned is who? The Moorish. We are the torchbearers in this again. We just didn't realize it. The wearing of these fezzes and turbans is representation of that. I can go on, you know, because like this fez represents something. Talk about Sultan, right? It's a religious title. Now, the titles is what? Grand Sheiks, Sheiks. Prophet passed the torch to us. He was the one, the torch was passed to him, and he passed it to us. We are now the chief protectors of the Islamic creed. It's not about culture, it's not about none of those things. It's about principles. It's about living the principles of Islam. We're not gonna culture and ritual and all that people to death. No, live this in your life. That's what it's about. And we're gonna show the world this. Islam. So with that, Islam. I leave you as I came in peace.